ideally, I want to have an incredible relationship with my dad. And I should be allowed that because he's my dad. But if I try to look at him the way a lot of you guys look at him, that's obviously going to make it so I don't have a good relationship with him. So of course I'm naive. Of course I look at things with rose-colored glasses. Of course I do, and I'm going to continue to do that. He was not as kind as he is now growing up. He's kind to me. He's good to me. I wish that he was better to my siblings. I wish that he was more respectful. But ultimately, I'm happy that I at least have something, because growing up, I didn't.
Mykelti breaks down as she reveals the real reason as to why she is defending Kody and Robyn and why it seems like she's on their side. Let's get into it, you guys. It's Mary.
And Emma.
You might have to like,
subscribe,
and comment down below, you all. And do not forget to subscribe to our Patreon, you all, because this is going to be a juicy one. You know, Mykelti was alone. She was not there with Tony this time.
Tony had to work, he said, for like 24
hours. A 24-hour shift. And basically she kind of did like a 2-hour live stream about the tell-all and everything and stuff like that. And there was a moment, it was the timestamp was 1 hour 15 seconds, 1 hour 15 minutes and like 40 seconds. This was when she started to break down and start crying, because somebody was asking her, well, basically, how can you defend somebody like that, whatever stuff. And she was just like, you know, if I looked at my dad the way you all look at him, I would have no relationship with my father. And she said that, you know,
well,
at the end of
person was asking, you know, like, you're great, Mykelti, which she is. She said, but, you know, you seem to be naive when it comes to Kody. And that's when she said she chooses to be naive.
Yeah, she said she chooses to be naive because she said, you know, if I look at the world, if I look at my dad the way you all look at him, I would have no relationship with him whatsoever. So basically, one, she is acknowledging the fact that he is not the best person. But she also is acknowledging the fact that she is choosing to have blinders on, because at the end of the day, she just wants to have a relationship with him. And she also, this is where she really started crying. She started to break down and cry when she said that, you know, when I was younger, I didn't have that. I had nothing with him, you know, and it's a shame that the show does not show how good he is to me, but he is really good and like, he's nice to me.
This is the best he's been to her.
This is the best he's been to her. Now, I have my own theory as to why that is, personally, but really it just made me realize that I understand now why she is on Kody and Robyn's side. Yeah. And the thing is, she's just a young woman craving the love of her father. Even though he is all these things, and we may not like him at all, and we might not understand why Mykelti is on their side, I think it's because at the end of the day, like any girl would, like whoever, like I'm sure there's plenty of women who have had father issues or have had a toxic father in their life, and they have had to figure out whether or not they want to have them in their life. And she has talked about, you know, that. But I think she just, at the end of the day, she just wants her dad's love. Yeah. And it is a shame that she has only been able to get it now, that nobody is on his side. She's the only, like, link that he has. Yeah. But she is grabbing onto it because she has never had a decent relationship with her father. Because you can only imagine this woman that's kind of been like, not like an outcast, I would say, in the family, but she has been the rebellious one. And kind of has, I mean, especially in this conservative family who plural marriage, she was kind of like the outcast. She left college, married somebody very quickly. So she wasn't like the prize child or whatever, or like the quintessential child. Like, I feel like for the first
child, that good child, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Good child, yeah.
And probably would be like what you would consider the troubled child. So she has had issues, right? But she also, I feel like she realizes that, you know, my mom will always be there for me. My mom will always love me. So I appreciate that. But Kody is not like that. Kody is only going to love me on condition. Yep. And the only way that I'm going to be able to have a relationship with him, which she seems really desperate
to reach out to him.
Yeah.
Which is not.
I think she is desperate to have a relationship with Kody. You know, not trying to be shady at all. You can't fault her for that. She hasn't had any relationship with her dad or whatever. You can't fault her for wanting, because at the end of the day, this is her dad. She wants it, and that's probably a void that she is missing. So that's the thing. She just wants to have her father in her life. And, you know, I completely understand that. She's choosing to have blinders on and to be naive about the situation because I'm sure she sees how horrible he's being, but there's something in her that maybe does not feel worthy or does not feel, or there's something
maybe
missing.
Worthy of that father's love.
There's something missing because she even said, like, you know, I feel like I put 3 times more of the effort into the relationship than he will.
Mm-hmm.
Will that ever change? She said, probably not. But will I ever stop doing that? Probably not. Because she wants to do that. And she, even though
right
it's
now,
a little
it serves her in some kind of way.
Yeah.
This relationship is important to her, and
Yeah.
you know, that's her dad. You can't say, none of us can say, hey, you should have a relationship with your dad.
Or you're a horrible person because you want to reach out to him. I mean, like, listen, I feel like some of us all have a person in our lives where they are probably a horrible person, but for some reason we want to still have a relationship with them, and we may try to bury our head in the sand. We can't, like, no, I don't think there's anybody
that family
who can.
member.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a family member, there's even a friend, maybe even a boyfriend or even a husband. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Where we just put our head in the sand and we're like, I know he's horrible, but I'm going to stay in this relationship, or I'm going to continue to have a relationship with this person.
And what you saying? Someone said that Tony was just like Kody.
No, Mykelti did say that you know, Tony reminds her a lot of her father.
So that is a little concerning. I mean, I hate talking about people's relationships, especially when they're young, because I feel like when you get married young, you guys kind of have to navigate together, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like growing up together.
Right.
Into true adulthood, you know?
Yeah.
But sometimes when you're missing that love of a father and you're not completely aware of it, you end up
with someone who's just like your dad,
who reminds you of that energy. When you're around them, that energy of I don't know, rejection that you got from your dad, or that energy, because I remember when she was dating Tony, there was something that he did that I didn't like when they went hiking. And he just seemed like he didn't seem very nice to her.
We have to go back and see the first season.
Kind of laughing it off. I think I commented about that. Like,
what's that about Aspen's husband? Because I remember Mitch, he was very often about how he wanted plural marriage.
No, this was Tony. They were hiking.
Right.
They were hiking, him and Mykelti. And he likes doing these hikings and stuff, but it seems as though in some parts she was struggling. And he was kind of like urging her to hurry up and come on. Yeah. And I just felt like, one, you know, dangerous. 2, you're not even trying to help her. And I just felt like the way he acted, he wasn't like a gentleman.
Yeah.
You know, and that's at the beginning of a relationship.
And you know,
this is like when you're supposed to be trying to, like, show your best side. And he was already like this. And I was like, oh boy. That means that, how is he going to be when they're married? And so I really think about that with him. I don't want to put too much emphasis on it because they're still young, they're still navigating their way. Maybe he'll grow up and get out of those ways. The other thing that wasn't lost on me was Mykelti seemed to, in this episode,
she seemed more open that now he was not there. And she did say, well, you know, the thing is basically he
overtalks you.
Well, she said, well, that's one thing, but also she did say that basically Tony, he has to go to work between 6 and 7. So she tries to not rant too much or whatever stuff. So that's why it doesn't seem like she's as open.
But he seems to rant. You see, he gets to go on his rant about your family.
Which don't make
Why
sense.
doesn't he shut up completely and give you an opportunity to tell us your side of the story? Because he ain't in family. I mean, we are watching the Brown family. We're not watching Tony family and his people. We're watching you all. So it's like it will be nice if he will shut up for a second. Because it seems as though he talks more now than she does. And he goes on these little rants. Like, did you see when he was talking about the family and whether they're not in this religion and they don't wear a certain clothing and they don't do this and
I
they don't
also
do that.
remember
Like,
Tony saying that the lifestyle was a horrible lifestyle and that nobody should be a part of it. And my thing is, she seemed a little uncomfortable when he said it. Because my thing is, yes, we know polygamy does not work. But at the end of the day, I would not have the family that I have without it. So it's not completely horrible.
First of all, it's not your family.
So you really should not say that.
Like, be quiet. Seriously.
He also said that, he also was like, every time I watch this show, I get more and more reasons not to ever want to be in polygamy.
Yeah, nobody's asking you. Like, you're a Mormon. Nobody's expecting you to want to be in polygamy. And last I checked, Mykelti was not for the polygamy also. So why you even had to make that point is not even necessary. This is what I'm talking about. You're over talking, you're extra talking that nobody is really interested in at this point. Why don't you be quiet and let her talk instead of her having to rush through her stuff because you got to go to work. Maybe if you don't talk at all, she'll be able to say her piece, and then you can skip on down to work. Why don't you just be a support system for her?
You know, I wish she would do these tell-alls, these reviews by herself. I know maybe she needs him as support or whatever, or maybe he's like a protection for her to not really tap into this. But I feel like it could be really healing and therapeutic for her to really watch this on her own and to talk about it on her own. That's what I think. And I think, yes, I don't think Tony should be that. I don't think any husband should be like super involved in what his woman does, like for work.
I really hope that when David starts doing the show, that
he's not all up in the
yaba soup.
Yeah. But I feel like Mykelti should be doing it on her own. And also, it seems like Tony has the comfortable chair. She did mention that because remember first we mentioned that her chair, it did not look comfortable. Like she went like this and she couldn't even go back, right? Yeah. So then she got Tony's chair, the black and red chair. But she mentioned on this one that that the black and red chair is perfect for work because it has great arch support. But Tony's chair, the new one that they just got from Costco, is great for vlogging and streaming because you can just relax. So Tony still has a comfortable chair.
So my thing is, and that's what we asked. Remember when we first saw them?
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, his chair looks extra comfortable. Why doesn't he give that to Mykelti? You know what I'm saying? Then you get the great black chair that you've been using and let her have a comfortable chair. So this is the kind of person that Tony is. And Tony, let me give you some advice, okay? One, Mykelti is a strong woman, and she always has been. That's the essence of who Mykelti is. There will come a time where she will get a lot of clarity, and you might be like minus a marriage. So this is what I will advise you. Since you're young and you guys are still growing, stay out of her family business, like her own family stuff. I know you're married to her, so you might come up with a quick, I don't care, I'm married to her, it is my business. It really isn't. It really isn't. And there's a way that you talk about her family that also affects her. It's like a sensitivity that you should have. You know, when you're married to a woman, you don't want to hurt her. There shouldn't be this, well, I'm keeping it real and I'm just going to tell you whether I can tell it in your face you're hurt. Because the way you're doing it is almost as if you're hurting her, you know she's hurt, and you're doing it all in public. You say, I have a problem with that. So this is something that you're capable of changing and that you should change. And moving forward, things like, if that chair is comfortable and you can feel that it's comfortable, just as a man, just be like, honey, this chair that we just got, wow, it is super comfortable. If this is your wife, you should want her to always be in a comfortable space more than you. You as the man, you're made to be uncomfortable physically. God has given you what you need to be uncomfortable physically. But with a woman who is giving birth to your legacy, you want her to be comfortable. And I want you to strive to be a gentleman. And don't go around because she says you're like Kody. That's not a compliment. Or you remind her of her father. That's not a compliment. Do you see how Kody is? It's not a compliment. And I know you will compliment Kody and Robyn till kingdom come, but like everyone else has eyes, and maybe the reason why he, compliments them is because Mykelti says he's like him. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, well, I gotta compliment the man if I am like him. But it's
she
not
said
a
that
good
very
thing.
early on.
It's not a good thing. I mean, Kody can be better, and he's choosing not to be. You are still in your 20s, so you are capable of change. And we kind of want to see that change, because Mykelti, she's such a beautiful person, but also she's such a good person and like a kind person. That's the kind of person you want on your side. That's the kind of woman you want to be married to. Okay? You want your marriage to thrive and your kids to thrive. So just think about what we've said.
Yeah. But I am happy that Mykelti finally had this moment to actually be open and to really to unravel some of those things that have been really burdening her. And hopefully she has more of those moments. I would advise Mykelti, let Tony be on the Patreon for the family stuff. But your family reviews, we really don't need his opinion, because one, it's not his family. Like, no disrespect to your husband at all, but not really interested in his opinion. This is your family. I feel like it's kind of offensive when your spouse is talking about your family. Because at the end of the day, you lived it, you went through it. And when he said that he would never live polygamy and it's a horrible lifestyle, that was just offensive, because the thing is, you lived it. It was not horrible for you at the time and all that stuff. Yes, there were a lot of pros. Yes, there were a lot of cons, but there also came with a lot of pros as well.
Yeah.
So my thing is, you can't negate the whole thing or whatever stuff. So that's my only thing. I would just say, do these on your own or whatever, and let him be able to hug and cuddle you after you have done that if you need support. But he does not need to be there over talking.
Especially
Tony
just
does not
before he has to go to work, so you're already stressed about going to work, and now you come up, please don't.
Tony does not need to be a quintessential part of it. It really is not necessary. Honestly, you do not see Gwen's fiance Beatrice there. Reviewing it, because she ain't a part of the family. Let's be honest, he is an in-law. Let him stay in his place.
He's lame.
But I'm happy. I'm seeing that. I now understand where she's coming from, because at first I was like, she is not loyal. Like, why is she just on Robyn's side? Like, is she just being despiteful? Like, what is going on here? But I understand it now. Because we have all had somebody in our life where we have ignored the red flags. We have completely just put our head in the sand and just been like, I'm not even going to address this because I want this person in my life. Like I'm sure there are some married people who are watching, who are in some horrible relationships and are still putting their head in the sand.
And Mykelti,
so let's all just lend a gentle wink.
Yeah, I have a relationship, kind of. It's not exactly the same thing, but I kind of have something like that with my dad. And I think now that my mom passed away, I am kind of really becoming very clear about this, relationship that I have. And it's very, very difficult to kind of trying to. My mom has passed away. They were not on good terms because of him. Because even though she was very graceful, like your mom, he was still bitter. I mean, how many decades later after the divorce? So, but I had a relationship with him still. So it was all, for me, the difference, my mom will always say, you guys go and have this relationship with your dad. She always kind of pushed it and wanted us to have this relationship with our dad. But I always already had a relationship with him. I was that kind of favorite child. Which, really, if this is what it takes to be a favorite child, miss me with the favoritism. Please keep that. So it's been very difficult. And I've not been able to talk to my dad since my mom died. It's like, and I am going through my own healing physically. So now I have this emotional stuff that I gotta heal as well. And So I have just decided that I'm not going to talk to him at all until I have kind of gone through my own physical healing, you know? Like I gotta take care of me first. I just can't deal with that playing nice right now because I'm still kind of reconciling the fact that my mom has passed away, you know? So I get what, you know, when you were crying about that, it really did hit home. And I do understand it, and it's very, it's like walking in a minefield, isn't it? But I think what I'm beginning to realize is that relationship, yeah, there's some good in it, but then at the same time, it's on that person's turf, right? On that person's terms.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, maybe the difference is that in the past, I've been able to just tell my dad the truth of whatever it is that I'm feeling, whether he agrees with it or not. And because I have this rage where my mom passing away is concerned, my thing is I don't want to talk to him now because I'm like a live wire. And I don't, because we have this relationship where I do tell him my truth, I don't want to just light him up. So that's where I am. So I understand what it is that you're going through. So maybe it's not completely the same thing, but I understand. And I am just now willing in this space, after my mom has passed away, I am just not willing anymore, you know, to go play nice, to be the peacemaker. I just am not. So I understand, Mykelti. It's a long road, but you'll get there, you know. And just I'm so happy that you're crying about it.
And you have that moment to be
is
vulnerable.
Healing. It's healing. Don't run
Don't
away from it.
shove those tears down. Don't do that. 3, 2, 1. Don't do that.
Do that. 3,
No.
2, 1. What? You got 3 seconds to cry?
Well, no, she was
What
talking
is
about
this?
putting the
Spanglish? Remember Spanglish when the woman says
one tear.
That's
one.
it. One tear.
No tear. Just one.
So when she said 3, 2, 1, I was like, what is that?
No, because she was saying we're going to watch the show in 3, 2, like, so that's what she was doing. I was like, oh my
I
god.
thought Christine had given her 3 seconds of crying. Like, I don't know if it was like, or maybe something in their
But no, she was trying to
where
press
they give you 3 seconds of crying. 3, 2, 1, and you gotta wipe your tears.
No,
That
but she
would
was
be a
just trying.
mess.
She was just trying to say that, hey, look, the countdown to the show is playing because I'm not gonna cry no more.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so I am happy that she had this moment
Get
because
it.
now I can understand and see her perspective.
And it's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. If you want to have a relationship with your dad, go ahead. If tomorrow you don't really feel like it, you don't have to. If you want to talk to him today, go ahead. If you don't. Like, you do what makes you comfortable at each time. And it's okay to cry, and it's okay to be confused about it. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, y'all. But it's Mary.
And I'm
We want y'all to like,
subscribe.
comment down below.
Bye.
Bye.